You are an author, mother, and successful entrepreneur, and recently named one of Time 100's most influential people in the world.
Wow.
I had to take, yeah, wow, wow.
At first glance, it looks like a VR headset, but in reality, it's a window into your brain.
This eye-scanning technology doesn't just spot vision problems.
The title of your biopic, the one that you're gonna direct and star in one day, the title will be?
I think it would be DeAndre Marshall, The Visionary.
I like the sound of that. This sort of approach to therapy with the horse here. Tell me about that. You said something about connection.
So, and that's exactly it right there, Jay. It's connection, it's human connection.
Under that new policy, the Department of Defense is urging trans service members to sign a waiver if they want to stay in service, but trans service members are saying those requirements on that waiver are nearly impossible. And with the July 7th deadline coming up for members in the reserve, we can expect that number of trans service members separated from the military to grow. Back to you.
NBC's Jay Valle. Thank you, Jay.
A recent GLAAD report showed that 94% of LGBTQ voters are likely to cast their ballot in November, with 68% of them supporting President Biden and 15% supporting former President Donald Trump. With elections in November, the cast is encouraging the LGBTQ community to get to the polls. Families are maybe not leaning toward the officers as their first resource. Why do you think there's a disconnect there?
Trust. Trust is a big part of it.
They really wanted to make sure that Julio wasn't just a John Doe. Julio was a social worker, someone who was loved and beloved by the community, and the support has been relentless. This weekend, they are mourning, but they are celebrating the progress that this investigation has made today.
Education is reshaping cities across America. Here in Brooklyn, one artist is fighting to preserve his neighborhood's history.
From inside his car.
I feel like Taxilandia lends itself to capture the story of 40, 50, 60 years of a neighborhood.
Thinking and bravery of Richard Fierro made the veteran and local business owner a hero in the eyes of so many people across the country, particularly those in Colorado Springs' LGBTQ community. To show their appreciation, the community has asked Fierro to lead the city's Pride Parade this weekend as Grand Marshal. Take a look.
So let's bring your chin down just a bit.
These military service members are preparing to start over.
Shake it out a bit.
The new headshots, just the first step for the career military members now uncertain about where they'll work next, when they'll see a paycheck, how long they'll have health care, even where they'll live.
Now turn your left, bring your left in right there.
Yeah, there we go.
It's a snapshot of the new reality for transgender service members. After a Trump administration policy kicked in this month, effectively prohibiting transgender people from military service, forcing many to leave the life they love.
I still want to serve. I still want to serve people. I still want to serve this country.
The deadline just passed for active trans service members to identify themselves under orders from the Department of Defense, a move that leads to their separation or early retirement. Of the 2.1 million members, the Defense Department says transgender people make up just over 4,000. About 1,000 stepped forward before the deadline. Those who did not now face a waiting game of being discovered via departmental medical records and put on leave. Master Sergeant Nick Wright with the Army National Guard is just a few months shy of 18 years of service and says he won't get the benefits he's earned.
I've given up 18 years of my life for this. Am I entitled to it? I mean, yeah, I should be, but it's more than that. It's bigger than that.
For those who don't qualify for early retirement, the difference in their payout for voluntary versus involuntary separation? Half. The Department of Defense did not respond to direct questions about soldiers' benefits after service. It did say that this is not a ban, rather a policy against those with gender dysphoria, the medical term for when someone feels their gender identity doesn't match their sex at birth. And the department fully intends to treat everyone impacted by the policy with dignity and respect. This is not your average choir. Strangers coming together for the first time to sing. Welcome to GLAAD Music Collective. GLAAD Music Collective began as a small gathering of Brooklyn friends that went viral. The collective now popping up in hundreds of spaces across the country, from the massive halls at the Museum of Modern Art to intimate warehouses in California.
The group was sparked right around as we were coming out of the pandemic. I was craving human connection. So I thought, let's put together some sort of one-off singing session, improvisatory in nature, low commitment, and let's just focus on the connection.
That connection hits the chords of singers and non-singers alike, as many discover the pop-ups through social media and word of mouth.
I think we served like 16,000 people over 2024.
Can you imagine the impact there in 2025, and you're seeing soaring numbers?
That's the beauty of these things, is it's going to go so much further than we'll ever know.
The Gaia team hosts various events, from circle sings to open mic sessions to fan favorite one-day choirs. Familiar and cathartic songs like Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten and Madonna's Like a Prayer, belted with passion and emotion. Some attend searching for something new.
It's a good break from the usual day-to-day.
Some seeking community.
Everyone's just like open to new experiences, and like everyone's really positive the entire time.
And some just wanting a mental break.
Something about it just feeds my soul. I have 3 kids at home, so being able to come here is just something that I do for myself.
So what is the science behind the connection between music and mental health?
Listening to music together releases oxytocin, an important neurochemical for helping us feel connected to other people.
For those seeking an energy boost, the group hosts over 22 events each month in and around major cities, spaces where community can be in harmony.
What's your message to those who just want to take that first step and sign up?
The doors are open for them to come whenever they feel moved to come. They're not going to be judged. They're never going to be judged here.
Jay Valle, NBC News. Pak Swan and his family are off to their local farmers market in Chicago's Albany Park neighborhood. A weekend routine for over 10 years.
Ready to go. This is the family job.
Farming is what Swan also did in Burma, the Southeast Asian country from which his family fled in 2011. Now his daughter, son, and his mom all play a vital role in the family business.
I'm working in one person and the family, so not enough the bill. So sometimes we go in farmer market.
Global Gardens made this possible. An acre of land, once a parking lot, now a space exclusively for refugees to not only grow food, but to rebuild their lives.
A lot of our farmers, they came from agrarian backgrounds in their countries where they had many acres of land, and then to be here in a small apartment, starting at the bottom of the pay scale, is difficult for them.
Since 2012, Global Gardens has helped refugees grow their own food and earn a living, offering garden plots, seeds, and hands-on farming training. 70 families grow produce here to feed their households.
Tell me about some of the vegetables you're growing here.
This is I cooking in with potato sauté soup.
Swan is one of 6 market farmers who collectively brought in over $100,000 just last year.
Between selling to farmers markets, restaurants, and various other sales outlets, the farmers are able to bring in a valuable amount of supplemental income for themselves.
The nonprofit has become a blooming community for families from various backgrounds, including Ukraine, Thailand, and the Republic of Congo, where Ahmad Melville's family left nearly 5 years ago.
Alors, le jardin m'offre beaucoup d'importance. Le jardin avec j'ai des légumes, fruits.
Melville and his 5 adult children tend to the family plot between their classes at a city college.
L'avenir est prometteur. L'avenir est meilleur, sera meilleur parce que on a beaucoup d'opportunités à Chicago.
Most of them are growing not only for food security, but also to make friends and to have a space to gather.
As of last month, the org says their funds from the Department of Agriculture were cut. And while ICE raids have hit sanctuary cities like Chicago, Liran trains farmers to know their rights.
A lot of the farmers have come to me and my staff with questions, and we're trying our best to help them.
For Melville and Pak Swan's families, the ultimate goal is leading safe, fruitful lives.
He inspires me to be like more hardworking. It's like an honor.
We talk on it.
In honor of Pride Month, Vice President Harris welcomed the original and current cast members of Queer Eye to the White House. Together, they engaged in conversation about representation in media, the progress of LGBTQ rights, and what's at stake for the LGBTQ community in the upcoming election.
It's up to us to say to each other, no time for apathy right now. no time to say, well, I'm sitting this out. I don't feel good. I don't want to.
A recent GLAAD report showed that 94% of LGBTQ voters are likely to cast their ballot in November, with 68% of them supporting President Biden and 15% supporting former President Donald Trump. With elections in November, the cast is encouraging the LGBTQ community to get to the polls.
LGBTQ rights are very simply civil rights. And there's the old adage that, rising waters lift all boats. And I think the fight for equality resonates beyond our community to other marginalized groups. And we need to remind everybody how important voting is because it lifts everybody up.
During its debut in 2003, Queer Eye was a rare representation of LGBTQ individuals in primetime television. Back in 2006, GLAAD reported that just over 1% of TV shows featured LGBTQ characters. Fast forward almost 2 decades later, and that number has increased to nearly 11%.
It was such an incredible, groundbreaking thing that history now, 20 years later, I think everyone understands what you guys did.
These two get credit because they were the first gay men to be out there being who they were, telling their story and sharing.
I don't know if you knew this, but on our end, the criteria was, yes, you had to fit into the umbrella of your category, but you had to be openly gay. And as an actor, I remember thinking, oh, so then I'll walk into rooms and spaces and everyone will know. And
I didn't have to worry. I already knew.
You didn't come out to your family.
Throughout the years, the cast has seen the impact of the show, with viewers acknowledging its role in sparking conversations within their households and promoting acceptance of the LGBTQ community.
One of the most grateful things I am for that show is that so many young people come up to me today on airplanes or in the mall and say, your show helped me come out because it allowed a safe dialogue with my family to say, oh, gay is okay.
To be able to be a part of that visibility for queer people, I think what I really hope that we can do is make queer people's lives in especially, rural spaces, but also really just anywhere, easier.
It has been nearly 9 weeks since the mysterious disappearance and death of Julio Ramirez, who was last seen leaving this popular Manhattan gay bar. Family and friends are now left with more questions than answers and are demanding justice for Julio. NYPD investigators say they have video surveillance of Julio Ramirez leaving the bar with 3 unidentified men, but the video has not been shown to the family or the public. According to police, Julio was found unresponsive in the back of a cab hours after leaving the bar. Julio's father says, "We want to see if anyone knows this person. Has anyone seen them? So they can contact the police or relatives to give information. What did those people do? Who are these people?" A police source told NBC News the initial cause of death was listed as a possible drug overdose. Julio's official cause and manner of death are pending further study, according to the medical examiner who told NBC News in an email that this could take at least a few weeks. Julio's family is left wondering who were the men who police say entered the taxi with Julio, and who is responsible for draining what they claim to be nearly $20,000 from his bank accounts in the days following his death.
We need to know what happened. We were told that a secondary toxicology would come up with more results, which would have been 6 to 8 weeks from Julio's death.
The medical examiner said Julio was initially identified as John Doe. The family says neither his wallet nor phone were with him when he died. He says, "I got a call from a medical examiner at Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan. They asked for me and they told me, 'Your son is dead,' just like that." Julio had just moved to New York City last year after obtaining a bachelor's degree and 2 master's degrees from the University at Buffalo. He had been living and working in Brooklyn's Bushwick neighborhood, where he was a bilingual mental health counselor. He was very lovable and smart. He completed 2 master's degrees at the same time. His goal was always to prepare, study, and what can be more? Julio's mom says, "He was very sweet, a great person. He was everything to me." On June 8th, friends and community members gathered for a candlelight vigil and a moment of silence in memory of Ramirez.
The turnout was incredible. The amount of support, it really showed me and showed his family that he was cared for, that his story touched a lot of people. And I think a lot of people there realized that they could have been Julio.
After nearly 9 weeks, the family demands answers from the police. NBC News reached out to the NYPD Deputy Commissioner's Office of Public Information regarding the surveillance video. Their response, at this time, there is nothing further. She says, "I would like justice to be served and also for the medical examiner to give us an answer."